Hey guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host Bastion. This is Nintendo News. Let's get to that news, shall we? First of all, Nintendo took some pretty costly measures to make sure that the Switch supply was as robust as they could possibly make it, which, I don't know if you know this, but of course they tend to ship on barges, on ships. Literally, they ship on ships, because that's much more cost effective. It takes a whole heck of a lot longer, but it's more cost effective than like on an airplane. Well, they decided, let's just go ahead and spend that extra cash, and they also sent a whole bunch via airplanes. So that's a whole lot more costly. In fact, so much more costly that it really adds up to like $45 per Switch unit. So, like, subtracting Nintendo's profits from each Switch unit, they're getting even $45 less per unit for those ones that they shipped on airplanes. That's mind-boggling. If you've played a lot of Breath of the Wild, you'll remember a curlicue peninsula that when I first saw it, I thought, well, that looks ridiculous. There's no way that could have been formed by nature. Strangely, however, there does exist an identical version of this peninsula in the real world. It is man-made, though. It's an art project, even though it's gigantic. It's basically the same size as that RIST peninsula. But yeah, if you want to take a look at that, it's bizarre to know that something like this exists in real life. There's a link down there for you. Our next story is a bit troubling. It's about a handful of indie developers who've said that their attempt to get their games on the Switch have not gone well, and has created a lot of anger. For whatever reason, Nintendo seems to pick and choose who they want to work well with regard to getting those indie games on the Switch. And for some of these indie developers, they just get form letters back, they don't get any communication back. They're getting very frustrated. Some of them have said, well, never mind then. I'm not even going to bother with the Switch if this is how Nintendo is treating third parties. It's of course not how Nintendo's treating AAA third parties, or even certain like well-known, well-respected indie developers. I suspect that some of these developers, Nintendo's just doesn't feel like the game fits for the Switch, or that, it's frankly good enough, or who knows, whatever the reasons are, some of these developers aren't able to get their games on the Switch, or any communication with Nintendo whatsoever. If you want to read more about this problem, there's a link down there for you. Something to get excited about is that, yes, construction has already started for Super Nintendo World, the Japanese version, in Universal Studios in Japan, but surely not too far off from that. The LA and the Orlando versions will probably begin construction at some point. It's just mind-boggling to know that it's still years away from when the park will be open. So, wow, I guess I didn't realize how long it takes to build these extra areas of a theme park, but yowza. And our final story for the day is bizarre, and it's the fact that Nintendo, for whatever reason, has decided we need a Reddit. So they've got their own subreddit, and I don't know what they're thinking, because I don't do much in the realm of Reddit, but there's a certain culture there, and I don't think Nintendo's going to enjoy the kinds of questions, and, there's going to be tons of PlayStation and Xbox diehards who are going to have all kinds of things to say on Nintendo's subreddit, so I don't know. I wish them luck. Anyways, that's it for this episode. See you guys in a couple days for more news. Bye, guys.